Hi, I'm Gabriel and welcome to Bigones.Nft, where we bring you some of the latest news, reviews and daily rankings of some of the biggest and smallest NFT collections in the metaverse. Now, smash up that like, hit subscribe and turn that notification bell to let the guys at YouTube know you appreciate this kind of content. Without further ado, let's smash into it. Okay, as always, what we like to do here on this channel is look at the crypto market on CoinMarketCap. So, okay, Bitcoin is down, Ethereum is down, and if we look against Bitcoin, Ethereum's down 17.31%, Bitcoin down 12.12% on this is on the 7-day average. Let's look at 24 on the daily average. Ethereum is 3% down with Bitcoin down at 1.2. So we're here sitting on 21,000. Oh, turned red, and Ethereum on 1,500. It is a sea of red. Not pretty, not pretty. But again, as they say during these kind of bear markets, DCA, dollar cost average. Again, I'm not a financial advisor, and again, none of this video is financial advice, purely for entertainment and educational purposes, and for anything we show here, do your own research. All right, let's move on. Okay, so I'm going to go straight into the news. Metaverse platform must act now to offer different ownership vision to Web2 giants. All right, now, just looking at this report, and I'm going to look into this. The report looked at the metaverse licensing agreements for the Sandbox and Decentraland in order to understand how real-world copyright and trademarks are perceived in the metaverse landscape. Okay, it concluded that both do a decent job of attempting to assign ownership to their users for user-generated content, but in both cases, the companies retain all intellectual property related to the sales of land parcels in their metaverse, merely assigning usage rights to NFT purchases. Now, this is really interesting. And again, as we know that the metaverse and usages of the metaverse is growing, in a nutshell, what this article is talking about, and in that title, is what do the users really own in terms of copyright and rights? Or are they literally just assigning? For example, on Sandbox, if I make a character or some kind of item, or I have my own space, do I own the rights to that? Or does Sandbox own it? So I think this is going to be a topic that's going to be looked into much deeper. There'll be a lot more questions, and I'm sure this is just the beginning of that kind of discussion that will be had about exactly what do you own on the metaverse or the land that you own. Okay, moving on. So, boom, let's look at this. Square Yard launches 3D metaverse platform for Dubai real estate. Okay, using cutting-edge technology such as 3D, AR, VR, and AR, the platform is the first of its kind to introduce high-definition 3D maps. Okay, there's a little picture. Now, what I really wanted to look here, and what kind of stuck out to me, is more the fact of Dubai and real estate. And again, Dubai is literally at the forefront, pushing and pioneering, leading the way in the metaverse around the world as a city, and connecting that now with real estate. As we know, Dubai is probably one of the most expensive cities in the world to live in, and how they've kind of combined this and integrated this using Web3 and the metaverse. And again, there's hundreds of articles where Dubai is really pushing their way, be it cryptocurrency, NFTs, Web3, blockchain, etc., etc. So I think we'll see a lot more from Dubai. But again, this is what really kind of jumped out to me, that they're still always there on the front end of the news, talking about what they're doing, developing, progressing in the metaverse in Dubai. Okay, moving on. So NFTs democratize music industry and redistribute song rights. Okay, so here, and I think if we look at this, music rights value is created by people loving and listening to the music and doing things with it. Now let's stop there, and that's absolutely correct. I personally am in the music industry and have a long history in the music industry, and it is true that obviously if you own 100% of a song, now what kind of value does that have if nobody's listening to it? Well, it probably has some sentimental value to yourself, the writer, but technically speaking, commercial value is probably zero. However, if more and more people listen to it and more people know it, then that value obviously increases. Now, I think this, and now let's continue with the article. Why shouldn't they being the listeners or the fans, be able to own rights if they create the value by listening to it? They should be able to get some of the upside as well. And honestly, why not? I think that's what's so interesting about Web3 and where it's going. And I think, as I've said this for several months now, that music and the music industry is really the next pioneer, the next, frontier for the development of NFTs and the use cases of how NFTs can be used. And yes, there are already a lot of NFTs out there, music NFTs or music releases, or you get you get an image with music and et cetera, but is it really the best way in which NFTs are used to disrupt the music industry as a whole? And I think that's what's exciting to look forward to. Of course, if you guys have any ideas, put it down in the comments below. I'd love to hear if there's any other new things which haven't come across my radar about music and the music NFTs being used around the world. Okay, moving on. Let's go into the top 10. Okay, let me just grab my mousey. Okay, boom. All right, so let's just quickly look at this, and I'm gonna just log into. So we've got this is the top 10, and again we've got Izuke Meta. We've heard of these guys. Mutant Ape Yacht Club. We know these guys. Pudgy Penguins, first time I've seen them in the top 10, at least from as long as we've been doing these videos. Bored Ape Yacht Club, one of the big ones. Other Deed for the Other Side, again related to the metaverse, and these are the land sales for Yuga Labs' metaverse Other Side. Lady Ape Club, okay. ENS Ethereum Name Service, 10KTF Stockroom. Women Ape Yacht Club. Now again, these two have nothing to do, as far as I know, with Yuga Labs. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but nothing to do. They are just using the name or the association of the name to their benefit. Nothing wrong with that. Didn't say that's wrong. Didn't say it's right, but just using, as long as you know, so you're not, let's say, drawn in or pulled into thinking that they are actually part of this big blue chip company, which is Yuga Labs. All right. Then, finally, at number 10, which I've never heard, Finilaia, or Finilaire. Finilaia, okay. So let's look into just some of these, which, again, we know some of these already. I'll just scan through it. We've looked at these guys. Good on these guys. They're now number one. Number one for today, which is October 23, 2020. August 23, sorry, I've jumped to 2 months ahead. August 23, 2022. They are today's top 10, and this one, Izuke Meta, is number 10, and we have seen these guys before. Studio Sekai, with that kind of Japanese manga kind of anime feeling. Of course, a PFP collection with a floor price of 0.19, so reasonable, very reasonable. And you'd obviously want to do your research to see what's their roadmap and what else do they have to offer. But they're number one. Good on them. Okay, moving on. Mutant Ape Yacht Club. We know these guys already. Won't stay too much. Floor price of 13.45. Okay, Pudgy Penguins. This is the first time I've seen them on our top 10. Let's look at them. 9,000 items with 59,000 ETH volume. quite reasonable and quite respectable with a floor price of 3.65. Not bad at all. Very cute penguins. I've heard these guys before. We all know them. Again, probably one of the big ones. Now, they haven't been obviously up there in the top 10, but they're definitely there and people know exactly who they are. All right, moving on. Bored Ape Yacht Club. We know exactly who these guys are, particularly with this kind of floor price of 67 ETH as a floor. All right, so I won't stay too much on these. Let's keep moving on. Other D for the other side, already discussed. We can spend a couple of seconds on these guys with a floor price of 1.53, quite reasonable that you own a piece of land. And as mentioned and this talked about, obviously land always has value and probably raise. Now, look, Decentraland and Sandbox price point is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Sandbox is like 1.8 ETH or 1.6. It's all around about the same there of owning. Now, of course, it depends on how many parcels you want. But, for one parcel of land, 1.53, quite reasonable. Probably will go up in the future. Whether that's tomorrow, in 1 year, 5 year, or 10 years' time, who knows? But they are part of Yuga Labs, which is the biggest NFT company. And now we will say company because they are under a company really in the world. With CryptoPunks under their belt and Meebits, as mentioned, and Mutant Ape Yacht Club. So, they're a big one. They are the biggest one, I have to say. And now you can buy a piece of that land. Again, do your own research. Look at it. Will you, what other, again, because of the article we've read, what rights are they actually allocating to you? Okay, moving on. Lady Ape Club, which is supposed to be the partners or presented as partners to the Bored Ape Yacht Club collection. So these guys and the other one, the Women Ape Yacht Club, again, they're using Bored Ape Yacht Club's fame, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with this as long as you know that they're not really connected with them, bar the fact that they've got Yacht Club and they're female apes or they're apes, and they're trying to find this kind of match thing. So again, check them out. You'd want to look at the team, etc., as we always say on this. Do your own research. Okay, Ethereum name service. Now, did I miss one? Let me just double check. No, I didn't. Okay, good. ENS, a great service using the Ethereum chain, providing a Web3 domain name, which can also serve, besides a domain name, also serve as your wallet to receive tokens. Okay, so for example, let's just say whiteelephant.eth. If that belonged to you, I wouldn't need your long address. All I need is a numerical address. All I need is that. I can send you, a few I wish I could send you a few Bitcoin. I can send you whatever, say $100 in Bitcoin. Just type in whiteelephant.eth and write it in, and that should technically go to you, as well as it can be your website, whiteelephant.eth. I just type it as a URL, and that will come up, and I'll see whatever information on that Web3 page of yours. So, okay, moving on. 10KTF. All right, 10KTF. So this looks like more of some generic items. This looks pretty cool. Sword. I was looking at this before, and a thimble for 1.9 ETH. Look at this. A tape measure. A long-ass tape measure. Now that's kind of funny. At 7 ETH. Stupidly sharp scissors at 2.9. I mean, I'd really want to know, what am I buying and what's it for and what's the potential upside if I was going to pay almost 2 ETH for a bloody thimble. So again, now, I haven't looked deep into these guys, and interestingly enough, they don't seem to have any website attached here on Opensea, so you'd want to Google these guys, see what else. But look, they're a verified account. They've only got 22 items, but they've sold. So obviously some of these items have multiple copies. Floor price at 0.12. Now, this has got nothing to do with CloneX. That again, correct me if I'm wrong. Put it in the comments below. But they are using that kind of brand, and I'll bring that brand here because we know it. It's the RTFKT. All right, they're there. So I don't think they're connected whatsoever. But where are they? Where's that? But they're there. Okay, so do your own research and really see what's the use case for this. Is there any potential value, or is it a quick money grab? But again, I don't know. Do your own research and let me know if you know. All right, in the comments below. Okay, moving on. So we've seen these guys. Now finally at number 10. Okay, Finilair. Okay. Now, I read this before, and it's really interesting. Are living NFTs that use oracles to respond to fluctuations in the value of cryptocurrencies. They become happy and buoyant when the currency they are linked to does well, and sad or even sick when it performs poorly. So, personally, I think these are really cute and quite a nice little utility, I would say, in the sense that I would be, if I was looking at these or I had this NFT somewhere, if they were sad, I'd know, damn, my coin is probably down, my token. But if they were happy, doing pretty well. So again, I would look a little bit deeper to see which tokens really could I connect them to, or maybe it's just a limited amount, or is it any token, or whatever chain may be specific. It could be chain specific, maybe EVM compatible, I don't know. But definitely an interesting concept and quite cute, I must say. Reminds me a little bit of the Tamagotchi, where you got to kind of raise the Tamagotchi. This was years ago in the, I think the 80s and 90s, right? And then, excuse me, you would be able to feed them, and they'll have different moods. So quite cute. I was just thinking, if it was Luna, what would happen? Would they die if it crashes like that? I wonder. Very interesting. But anyway, let's move on. So, okay, let's look at the randomizer. Okay, now I'm going to, let's generate. Let me just shut these guys off. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, as it's generating. Yes, nice. 403. Okay, I'm just going to close this off. Okay, let me just quickly close this up. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so our randomizer says 434. Excellent. Okay, let's have a look. I'm glad it's 434. Okay, I'm sure we're going to have to scroll a couple of times here. Bear with us. Boom. Okay, and then one more, and then, or maybe two more. Okay, 400. Okay, yep, one more. Okay, and boom. We are now in the randomizer. All right, 434. Was it 434? Is that what I said? Okay, yep, 434. Okay, here we go. Treeverse plots. All right, interesting. Let's have a look at these guys. Treeverse plots. Now, quite interesting we're talking about this, because this is almost like a metaverse style thing, if I'm not mistaken. Let's read them, and let's open up, while that's happening, their website. Okay, their Discord, Medium, interesting, and their Twitter. Okay, so let's have a look at these Treeverse plots. It's an open world fantasy MMORPG with a MOBA style combat system. Interesting. Slay beasts, forge mighty weapons, lure the biggest fish from guilds, defeat dungeons, and explore the deep lore. The living world of Treeverse awaits those bold enough to conquer it. What are Treeverse founders' land? All right, so blah, 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 utility-based NFTs that allow holders to place in the game world, and has the following benefits: public homes, better customability, rent them out, teleport destination, extra storage space. Okay. All right, so there's 10,000 items, 3,500 owners already own these items, with a total volume of 15,000.4 ETH. Not bad, with a floor price of 0.75. So again, if we look at If we remember Other Deed, which was at 1.53 ETH floor price. So, this is quite reasonable. And again, here, these are founders' plots. So they're selling the plots of land. Interesting, again, we're talking about this since the topic we were discussing at the beginning of what really do you own in the land if you're giving it? What rights do you have to this? Okay, let's do a little mini deep dive. So let's look at their website. Treeverse, okay. So they've got their, basic style website, building forging, which is what they said. Gameplay, collections, plots, timeless. I want to scroll down and let's go to the team. This is what we like to see. All right, so we can see their team here. Founder and CEO Loop, doesn't want to be shown, no face there. Asa, founder and CTO, all right. Azia, Robert Shapiro, producer, interesting. Scott Chin, art director, K Diggy, Fancy Lee, Wu, Sean Chang, Sharon Lin. Sounds a little bit like maybe a Hong Kong or Taiwanese, definitely an Asian with some Chinese backing, but quite an international team, I have to say. Let's have a look, or maybe Singaporean. Let's do this. I'm going to go to the producer. I'm going to click on the producer, and let's just open this, and maybe the art director. Let's just kind of see if these things come up. Oh, okay. Oh, all right. These are just the faces. Okay. Okay. So you can't actually. Oh, okay. Let's click on him. Let's see what happens. Okay. While that's loading, maybe I should have just clicked on it. There you go. Okay. So it's going to the LinkedIn. All right. Robert Shapiro, game producer and country manager at Endless Clouds. Okay. So obviously real person. All right, so good. And what about our other mate here? Scott Chin, concept artist and art director. Endless Clouds as well. Okay, Taipei. Okay, Taiwan. Okay, interesting. Great. And let's look at their Discord. I'm not going to go into it, but we can look at their members. They have 16,000 members, quite reasonable. Okay, not bad. Okay, let's look at their Medium. So this is their Medium. They've got, 782 followers. A little low, but, again, this is really just to release that information out there. But, Medium's a great platform for sure to also accumulate fans and followers. Okay, all right, so they're not using they're just announcing stuff. And again, they haven't really pushed this. Let's look at their Twitter. All right, 81,000 followers, very reasonable, following only 3. Again, for those who know me on this channel, when you're only following 3 people and you've got this huge amount of followers, I always kind of find a bit dubious. But again, no harm in that. It's just, I think Elon Musk, I always say, probably has more than 3 followers, right? So, but look, it looks really, let's just have a look at this first look. Okay, combat trailer. So they've got the trailer, had 220,000 views. Okay, very reasonable with lots of retweets, over 1,406. Let's just have a look at what they've been. Okay, obviously, this is the founder, if I'm not mistaken. All right, quite decent. And if we look at this, was August 20, so definitely active. August 19, August 2, August 18. All right, so they're obviously definitely recently been quite active. August 17. Interesting. So look, based on what we've seen, we can at least say yes, they have real team members. We've clicked a few. Of course, we can keep clicking and clicking and clicking. So the teams seem to be there. Look, I'm going to click this guy. Interesting. Cannot click the founder. How about this one? Cannot click co-founder. All right. Interesting. Okay. So we can just click the producer, art director. Okay. What about Fancy? Woo. Okay, which ones can we click? What else? Ooh, that's about it. Okay, maybe none of these artists. Anyone else we can click? Okay, game designer, Irene Chan. Okay, I'm just sorry, was just kind of getting carried away with trying to confirm that these people are real people, and they are. Okay, boom. All right. So as a whole, let's go to the let's go to their plot, founders plot, and to their Opensea, which is what we were looking at here. So they're ranked 434. Okay, so they're down there, but they're there. They're on Opensea, and they've definitely have some kind of trading volume, which I think is in any kind of collection, NFT collection, very respectable, very, very respectable. So they must have some kind of roadmap which you'd want to look at. All in all, my personal take, there's definitely credibility, legitimacy. Not my kind of style of game, I'd probably say. So not something that I jump into or I'm excited about. But for sure, let's say some potential. And now that I've seen them, I'll definitely keep my eye out for them. I do love trees. My mum loves trees. So I think that's a good thing. So I'd need to know more about their lore and their deep lore, as they said, to try to get more excited and see some of the other characters, etc., and of course the roadmap. So always those things: team, roadmap, and of course utility, and in this particular sense, gameplay, which they have outlined. And I'd probably watch that trailer, get a feel of it. Of course, trailers can be generated, can sometimes be misleading, but definitely I'd look at the quality, how much time and effort and money that they spend on that trailer. But again, looking at what they've done already, good on them, and a good job all in all. All right, so that concludes this video. Smash up the like again. Every like does matter. And of course, please subscribe if you do want to see more of this kind of content. And if you don't, do let us know in the comments below and let us know what we can do to be better. We are really open to listening to constructive criticisms, and we do want to improve and do things as best we can. All right, that's it for this video. Good night and see you next time.